Turd Podcast, episode 223, Lamar, Easter, Bloody Easter.
Yeah, Easter is coming up. I don't know what day, but it's of course, the holiday with the big bunny that can, lay eggs. And so, in B-movie fashion, we have to make this bunny a crazy, murderous mutant killer, kind of like a werewolf.
Yes, but this isn't really the Easter Bunny, Lamar.
Okay.
We'll talk about that in the next, or first category. What do we think of the story?
Okay, so yes, in the town of, what is it, Walburg or
Something.
Will something, there is some killings going on, and it is coinciding with the big bunny festival that they have going on. Yeah, it turns out that this bunny is going around, Jackalope.
It's a
I'm
jackalope.
sorry. It's
not
a
really
jackalope.
a bunny.
Not really a bunny. It's going around just killing people for some reason. And our hero, Jeannie, she has to stop this murderous jackalope and its minions.
Its minions are the bunnies.
Yes.
Well, I like this story. I like that they went with Jackalope.
Yes.
And that he can summon the bunnies and make them wild. Just the whole thing, the way they set up the town and the people in it and the story, everything.
It is an interesting gimmick. It's not just a person just running around in a freaking, bunny. Oh, sorry, jackalope costume. It has some other things to it. So yeah, I enjoyed it as well. I gave it a 1.
Yeah, 1 point for me too.
Yes.
Our next category, Lamar, is what do we think of the characters?
Well, this is in I don't know how to do a Texan accent to try my best. This is in a little Texas town, and boy, the characters here, we already mentioned Jeannie. She has her best friend, Carol. There's Mary Lou, who's over the church festivities. I'm trying not to say the bad word. She's a difficult woman to deal with. And then you have also, I guess, this woman named Megan. She's kind of like Blade.
Yeah.
She's hunting down the jackalope.
You have the conspiracy theory guy too, who's an important character, I thought.
Sam. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good assortment. I was worried watching it because I was like, well, I know Lamar doesn't like when there's a lot of characters in the movie, but I thought they were all unique characters, and they were all, the whole movie, everyone is playing it super kooky.
That's what it is. That's what saves it. It's they're not just stock characters.
Right.
And I think in other movies, it's they're all the same, but these all have their individual, personalities and stuff.
Yeah.
Like that.
It's very kooky, very campy. So I enjoyed all the characters. So I'm going to give it 1 point for characters.
Yes. Agreed.
Well, our next category, Lamar, is what do we think of the special effects / kills?
Was there any CGI in this? Maybe
yes.
A little bit of CGI blood.
That's my problem.
That's your problem?
Go ahead.
Okay. I'll start off with what I like. They kept the bunny effect practical.
Yes.
The light up eyes. I don't want to go too much into it, but they at least kept that. It's not CGI bunnies running around here and stuff like that. They had some blood that was realistic and stuff like that. However,
when the blood was gushing, though, it was CGI blood. That's a problem for me.
So that's a problem. See, for me, I noticed it, but my problem is if it's too much. For me, this was quick, so it didn't bother me as much.
Because the bunny part of it was great, how they kept that practical. I just felt with the blood, you could have just shot some blood out of a little hose thing or whatever. It would have been more fun. Well, what are you giving it for kills effects?
I give it a 1. You, Joe?
I'm giving it a half point, Lamar.
Okay, understandable. You want the real blood, and I understand it. For me, if it's quick enough and it's not too noticeable, I'd be okay.
All right. Well, our next category, Lamar, is what did we think of the monsters and the bunnies?
Like we said before, it's not a person just running around, just, in a costume. They have some other things. They turned the little bunnies into murderous little mutants and stuff like that. Their eyes light up. They bite at people and stuff like that. They attach to people and they're getting them off and stuff. I loved that part of the movie. I was dying laughing. That made me crack up.
Yeah, that was fun. It's like all the classic, the gremlins and the critters and the ghoulies, but with bunnies. So that was cool, and the jackalope element of the story was pretty fun because you had the conspiracy theory guy kind of hunting
Hmm.
after that. So I liked all that. So I'm giving it 1 point for this category.
Agreed.
Well, our final category, Lamar, is sequel. Do we want to see a sequel from this?
It did end with some possibilities
It did.
because even though things end, we learned that I don't know what you would call it, like let's just say things can pass on.
Yeah.
So you have the jackalope, and then if you bring the bunnies back,
Yeah.
I'm down for it. And
That's the best part.
I will say this, and you might not like this. I see a scene where there's going to be like CGI bunnies just running rampant, like over a freaking city, like it just engulfs a city. It can be very corny, but I will still like it because
Yeah.
I like the bunnies pretty much eating people.
I would definitely want to see a sequel, and I think they would almost have to do that, like go over the top, like Gremlins. Like they, of course, it's funny because like they're bunnies, so they multiply really fast, like, and then they just have them going nuts on a town and stuff. I think that would be fun. So yeah, what do you think?
Yep,
What are you giving it?
give it a 1.
Yep, 1 point for sequel. Well, Lamar, we've tallied the score, and this movie gets a 4.75 out of 5.
It can be, like a trilogy or, have its own little franchise. Because what we need more during Easter is murderous bunnies, Joe.
What if the bunnies went back in time right before Bambi's mother was going to get shot by the hunter? And they
That's
just
where
went.
you lost me, Joe. What
Why?
in the
Why?
why Bambi?
Because they're in the forest. They're forest creatures, like Thumper.
So Thumper gets turned into like a murderous.
No, they go back in time to help Bambi's mother, and then they seek revenge on all the hunters in the forest.
Why don't you just not use Bambi? Why don't they just go off on hunters on their own or something like
Because
that?
there has to be a scene here in the present, like they're watching Bambi, and they get to that scene, and they get so sad and triggered by it that they go into a time machine back in time to find the hunters that are killing the animal creatures, and they get them.
Need some work, but you've piqued my curiosity on that.
Okay. Anyways, this movie was directed by Diane Foster, Lamar. It's
Mm-hmm.
her directorial debut.
Yep.
Also, Diane Foster is going to be on our show next week.
Yep. Yeah. And then the movie is coming out the 26th, so we're just lining it up. Bam.
That was so unenthusiastic.
But I was still saying stuff.
I tried to set it up and you just went, yeah.
Would you like to do it again?
Yes.
Okay.
Diane Foster is going to be on our podcast, Lamar.
That's right, goddammit. We're just setting her up for everything. We're just, going. She did get a great movie. This comes out on the 26th.
Yep. So
Yeah.
check it out, and then yeah. Does that wrap this up then?
Yeah. Happy Easter, kind of
Something
early.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Peace.
Deuces.